How I made $10,000 in 1 month as an artist. Breaking down multiple income streams in the art business, there was a time when I struggled to make ends meet as an artist. I was working part-time jobs, selling a few pieces here and there, and questioning whether the art world could ever be a viable career. Despite all my efforts, I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere, and my income barely covered my basic living expenses. That was until I decided to approach my art business with a mindset shift. What if I stopped depending on just one source of income? What if I diversified? In a single month, I made $10,000 as an artist, a number that felt like a dream come true but also felt entirely possible once I started building multiple income streams. Let me walk you through how I did it. The turning point, realizing I needed to diversify, it was early one summer when I had an epiphany. I was sitting at my kitchen table, reviewing my finances for the month, and I realized something unsettling. I was entirely dependent on selling physical pieces of art. I had a few regular clients and a handful of commissions, but I wasn't scaling. It was a feast or famine situation. Some months were good, but many others left me scrambling for enough to cover rent. One morning, while scrolling through social media, I saw an artist friend post about how they were earning passive income from art prints, online classes, and digital downloads. That moment sparked something in me. If I could build a consistent and reliable stream of income, I wouldn't have to worry about unpredictable sales or waiting for a commission to land. I had to rethink how I was approaching my career as an artist. Income Stream 1: Selling original artwork. I'll start with the basics, selling my original artwork. This is where the foundation of my income came from, and it's still a significant part of my business. But what changed for me was the way I started to approach it. I used to rely on local galleries, pop-up shows, and my website to move artwork. But I soon realized I needed to expand my audience beyond those local avenues. I created an online portfolio, not just of finished pieces but also works in progress, sketches, and paintings I was experimenting with. This behind-the-scenes approach created a deeper connection with my audience. They weren't just buying a final product, they were following the evolution of a piece. By sharing the process, I attracted more people who valued the journey and not just the outcome. And that was important for my social media strategy. I had to engage my followers and create a community that supported my art. In terms of generating revenue from original works, I found that pricing was crucial. For a while, I priced too low, thinking it would attract more buyers. But I quickly learned that lower prices devalued my work, and people perceived it as less valuable. I raised my prices gradually, ensuring that I was charging what my work was truly worth. I also started offering payment plans for higher-priced pieces. That simple change allowed me to sell larger works without pricing out potential buyers who were interested but couldn't afford to pay everything up front. By the end of the month, I had sold 3 larger pieces of original artwork, each priced around $1,500, which brought in $4,500. Income Stream 2: Art prints and merchandise. The second income stream I tapped into was art prints. Instead of selling just the originals, I started creating high-quality reproductions of my best-selling pieces and made them available in a range of sizes. This allowed me to sell the same piece to multiple customers without giving up the original. I also ventured into merchandise. I've always been interested in fashion, and it wasn't long before I began putting my art on things like t-shirts, tote bags, phone cases, and even home decor items. I didn't have to worry about inventory or shipping because I partnered with print-on-demand companies like Printful and Society6. I focused on designing items that felt personal and connected to my brand as an artist. The key was in creating products that aligned with the aesthetics of my artwork, but were also practical and accessible to a wider audience. Merchandise like this often appeals to people who love art but can't afford to invest in an original painting or a print. By focusing on creating art prints and merchandise, I generated an additional $2,000 from my online store. People loved the variety and convenience of having options at different price points. Some customers bought a print of my artwork, while others purchased tote bags or phone cases, both with my artwork on them. Income Stream 3: Online courses and tutorials. One of the most profitable and unexpected income streams came from creating online courses and tutorials. As I mentioned, I had a hobby of sharing my art process on social media, but what I didn't realize was that people were hungry for more in-depth content. I decided to create a series of art tutorials that focused on specific techniques I had mastered over the years, such as blending acrylic paints or using pastels to create textured surfaces. These tutorials were easy to follow, and I made sure to keep them affordable. I used platforms like Skillshare and Teachable to host the courses. What surprised me was how quickly I could monetize my knowledge. I had followers on social media who had seen my work and admired my style, but they didn't know how to do what I was doing. This gave me the chance to capitalize on my experience and offer value in a different way. Within a week of launching my first online course, I had made $3,000. I continued to release new content, including smaller tutorials and workshops that were priced between $20 and $100. This consistently brought in passive income, and by the end of the month, I had earned another $2,500 from course sales alone. Income Stream 4: Commissions and freelance work. While I was cultivating passive income through prints and courses, I also stayed open to commissions and freelance work. I made sure to establish clear boundaries for this type of work, charging what I was worth and ensuring the process was streamlined for clients. I had built a network of followers and art enthusiasts over the years, and some of them reached out for custom commissions. What changed was that I started accepting only the commissions that fit my style, and I created a system for evaluating potential projects. I raised my rates for custom work and offered tiered pricing based on the complexity of the project. For instance, smaller portraits or simple pieces would be priced at a certain amount, while larger, more intricate pieces would have a higher fee. This way, clients knew exactly what they were paying for, and I had a clear sense of what each commission was worth. By the end of the month, I completed 2 major commissions: a mural for a local business, $2,000, and a large custom portrait, $1,500. These 2 projects alone contributed $3,500 to my monthly income stream. 5. Patreon and memberships. Finally, I turned to Patreon to generate recurring revenue. With Patreon, I could build a community of supporters who paid a monthly subscription fee in exchange for exclusive content, early access to new pieces, behind-the-scenes looks at my work, and even free downloads. This allowed me to deepen my connection with my fans while also giving them a sense of ownership over my creative process. I started by offering lower price tiers that allowed people to support me for just a few dollars a month. As I gained more followers, I created higher tier memberships that offered more personalized experiences, like one-on-one video calls, private tutorials, and limited edition prints. By the end of the month, I had around 50 patrons, each contributing between $5 and $50 per month, which added up to a steady $1,000 in recurring revenue. The breakdown: here's a breakdown of how I earned $10,000 in 1 month. Original artwork sales, $4,500 art prints and merchandise, $2,000 online courses and tutorials, $2,500 commissions and freelance work, $3,500 Patreon and memberships, $1,000 total, $10,000. The takeaway: building a sustainable art business. The key to my success was diversification. By spreading my income across multiple streams, I was no longer dependent on one single source of revenue. Whether it was selling prints, creating courses, or taking on commissions, each income stream supported the other. I found a balance between active and passive income, and that balance allowed me to thrive as an artist. If you're an artist struggling to make ends meet, or if you're simply looking for ways to boost your income, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Build multiple income streams, and most importantly, don't undervalue your art. With creativity, persistence, and a willingness to try new things, you can turn your passion into a full-fledged business that supports you in every way. Artists need encouragement, and this channel is here to help. Like, subscribe, and comment what success stories would inspire you most.